Hi buddy, welcome back to Cat's Book Nook. This is, I don't know what take this is. My computer just randomly shut everything down. So, this is my September to be read list. Hopefully I can get through this one this time. August was pretty busy. We closed on the house. We've moved in. There's boxes everywhere. This goes back to my rambly video that I'm working on posting because the Wi-Fi connection here just sucks. Just sucks. So, while I'm going through this month, I will also be moving around the house to give you guys different viewpoints of where things are and trying to figure out where the best place to record these videos are. New house, new configuration, and just all that fun stuff. This month's TBR is slightly different from last month. If you watched the videos with what I was reading last month, you'll know that I tried to get through 18 different books. I only got through 9 of them, so a lot of the books that were on my August to be read list are now on my September to be read list. So this might be a shorter video, hopefully, because I don't have to talk about all of them. I've also got 5 or 6 different categories that the books that I'm trying to go through this month fell into. They're new books that I have picked up, books that I'm continuing from last month, books that I got last month that I haven't picked up, things like that. So, I've also got it written down on the other side of the screen, so that may be why I go back and forth. And the camera moves, because it's on a box right now. So, books that I'm continuing from last month. Audiobook-wise, from last month, I am still listening to Beautiful Creatures. I've got 3.5 hours left on this book, and it goes back to the Overdrive library today. So I gotta get through this book. Again, should be listening to that right now, but I'm listening to music just so that way I can kind of focus a little bit more. Another book that I'm really trying to read this week, and I started, see the book tag, bookmark. This book, I don't even know where to start with this book. This is my end of August, beginning of September book slump book. I do this every year to myself. I pick a book that is really hard to get through for me, and it takes me a month to get through. The last 2 years, I kid you not, has been American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I cannot find that book on my bookshelf anywhere. So that book this year ended up being The Passage by Justin Cronin. It's well written, but the details in this book, people just, yeah. So I'm going to try to get through this book this week, especially since I'm taking the train instead of driving in so much. And I think that's part of the reason I haven't gotten through this book is because I have been driving so much. Books that were a continuation from July and now are in September to finish. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows and Burnt Mountains by Anne River Siddons. I don't have a reason why I haven't finished these books, guys. I just don't. So I gotta try to get through those in the next 2 weeks before we go other places. I don't know where we're going this month. I know we're supposed to be going to West Virginia one weekend, and then we're supposed to be getting ready for Cancun in October. Yay, Cancun. I'm excited. First out of the country trip. So I need to start packing the books that I'm taking on that trip. But I have to get through these books. It's just a lot of them. Books that I got last month but never started. So I've already talked about these books, so I'm not going to go into deep detail with these books. But A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. I don't know when I'm going to start this book. Probably after The Passage, because I do have to get through. I'm tired of returning books that I haven't read that I want to read, just because then my to-be read list grows and I never go back to them. Except for 1 or 2 other books. The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. I got this book in June. I mentioned this book in June or July. I really need to read this, otherwise it's going to end up going back to the library. And then The Name of the Wind. This was supposed to be a Tome Topper book. I haven't gotten through it. I haven't even cracked this book open yet because I'm working on the other books. I need to read this or I'm going to end up returning it. Whew. So those are the 3 books that I borrowed that I hadn't started yet. Books that got returned to the library unread. This is a hard category for me, just because I wanted to read these books, and I may go back to them at some point later on. But this is Made You Up by Francesca Zappia. I wanted to read it. Got it in July, haven't picked it up yet. There's a hold on this, otherwise I would have renewed it. And then also, I got Lady Midnight through Overdrive. I'm trying to pull the picture up for that one. But, yeah. Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. I didn't start it. Haven't finished it, haven't touched it. But I know that a lot of people on BookTube like Cassandra Clare, and I want to see what the hype is. So, I'll probably end up getting that book via audiobook later on. I don't think it's got any holds on it, so I may pick that back up this month. Did not finish books. Some of these are really weird. I started to read the 5th season right after the Diviners, right before the reading slump started. And I got through, like, the first 4 pages. And I will probably go back to it because I would like to read The Obelisk Gate. But I had to return it because there were holds on it. So, did not finish. Will be getting back, though. School of Good and Evil, audiobook. I actually own this book via ebook. I could not get into the characters. I couldn't. They weren't bad characters, and it seems to be a well-written series, and the concept behind it is good. I just could not. I got 4 hours into the audiobook, and I'm like, do I really have to listen to the rest of this? And it's due back today, so I may get it back after everything's said and done this month. I may not. That's why it's on the did not finish, but we'll probably go back to list. The 3rd book on this list for did not finish, but might go back to, is The Magicians. I may have to get a physical copy of this book to destroy. There are words in this book I don't necessarily understand. Like, it's spelled L-I-M-N-E-D. It means highlight. Didn't know that. So this book is definitely a vocabulary builder and a book that I will probably write in, which is why I would destroy the book. I don't normally write in books. I don't see the point in writing in books, and I feel bad for books that get written in, but I would have to do that with that book. So that book is definitely far down on this list for going back to, which is why it's on the did not finish. It's not, I actually don't care about Quentin, and maybe it's because I watched the show, but Quentin kind of comes off as a jerk. I don't want to say a depressed idiot, but I have depression, and I know that some people get triggered by talking about depression in a negative light. It's not a negative book. It's just Quentin is, I don't know. I feel very stupid when I'm reading this book, so I may not go back to it. And that's all for that category. New books on the TBR. I have 4 books for this one. Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. Somebody talked about this on their to be read list, I want to say maybe a month and a half ago. I don't remember what this book is about, and I don't really want to know what this book is about, because I want to go into it not really knowing anything about it. But, yeah, should be interesting. And if nobody is listening, am I making any sound at all? Apparently those are the first words that get said by this one person that starts the whole story off. Kind of makes you think. Kind of like with the BookTube stuff. If nobody's listening, am I really, like, what is the purpose of doing these? I don't know. So I'm interested to start this one. Adam, I finally picked up one of your books. History is All You Left Me. Adam Silvera is on my Instagram or Twitter feed, somewhere, one of my social media channels. I actually would like to get through this book. He seems like a fantastic person and somebody that you could actually go grab a beer with and have a conversation with. So I would love, and he's gay, so it works. But I would like to get through this. I don't remember what this book is about, so sorry. But I think this might actually be the book I go to after the passage is done, because this is supposed to not necessarily be a light read, but it might help me get past the reading slump that I'm in with the passage. With those two, I also picked up Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuvel. I think that's how you say it. Somebody else talked about this book along with its sequel. They didn't particularly care for the sequel. They loved Sleeping Giants, but they didn't care for the second one. So I would like to see what the hype is about. And then Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. I think that's how you say it. These two books I'd actually gotten through Overdrive on audiobook, and I'm like, I'm not going to get through these. So pick up the physical copy. I can keep them for 21 days, renew them if possible, if I need to, and just read them. So I've got a lot of stuff to read. And with those books, because that's a lot of books. I'm sorry, that's a lot of books. I get through 10 books in a month going this way. And some of these are audiobooks and some of them aren't. But with everything that is behind me, I have not gotten through half of these shelves. I really haven't. And it's time to stop procrastinating and get through some of these. So, that being said, since most of my books are unpacked, I put the number 500 into the random book generator. And it gave me number 368. So, this book was book 200, and no, this book was book 100, and going back that way, I came up with 200, 300. Funny story about this book. I had actually picked this book out randomly off my shelf as a book I wanted to read this month. This is book 368 on my shelf. I kid you not. After I put it back, I did the random number generator. I counted all of my books. This is book 368. I'm like, what the? How often does that happen? So anyway, book off my shelf that I need to read. Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. It's a trilogy. I haven't read it. I've wanted to read it for years because it's a couple years old. And I think I picked it up off Books A Million's bargain bin. So, looking forward to kind of reading that this month. We'll see if I actually get through all that book. If not, it'll end up in October. That's how this works, right? So, those are all the books that I'm going to try to get through. I do have a few books that are coming up on my library holds through both Overdrive and physical copies. So, when those come up, I'll tell you guys about them in my weekly wrap-up videos that will probably be posted on Sundays. So, I don't know yet. Again, still trying to figure this out. So, that's it. 12 books to get through this month with the books on hold coming up. And hopefully I will have a better update for you guys in a different location somewhere later on down the road next Sunday. So I hope you guys have a fabulous week, a wonderful Labor Day. Thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you guys later.